Hey, Happy New Year. Happy 2026. I just want to share my testimony because I realize I haven't told anybody besides my immediate family. Uh, so I'm going to try to make this short, and just kind of skip a lot of details. But around August, September of 2024, took some blood work, came back to the high PSA. So I had to go to my urologist. I had to get um, a digital exam, and then he felt something, and so he said, we got to do an MRI. The MRI showed something on my prostate, and so the next thing we had to do was a biopsy of the prostate. It's like 12 samples of the growth. Anyway, it came back to be cancer, prostate cancer, stage 3. So I'm skipping a lot because after that I had to do MRIs, bone scans, just to make sure that cancer hasn't spread out of the prostate. Okay, and it didn't, which is a good thing. So the reason why is also because if it's contained in a certain area, you can do radiation to that area. If it spreads, then often that's when you have to do chemotherapy, because so many people ask me, do you have to do chemo? No, I didn't have to do chemo because the cancer was in a certain area and it hasn't spread yet. So when you have prostate cancer, you got two choices. One, radiation, or two, surgery, have your prostate removed. I didn't want to do that because I heard it takes a long time to recover and sometimes you can't control your bowels and everything. So I chose radiation. But along with both of those is 6 to 8 months of hormone therapy, which is absolutely horrible. Why? I'm a guy, so that means I work out a lot. I enjoy working, playing rugby, coaching, jujitsu. But with the hormone therapy, I had low energy. I had hot flashes, 12 to 15 a day, hot flashes. Obviously, ED, depression, like I said, low energy, brain fog. So the hormone therapy is very bad, and I'm still not 100% recovered from that. Um, so to make a long story short, and then 2025, at the end of January, we decided to start doing the treatment. Okay, so I had to do 20 sessions of radiation therapy, Monday through Friday, 4 weeks straight. You can't skip any days. So I started doing my radiation and everything, and it's going okay. It's hard. Like I said, I'm just skipping through everything, so I'm not gonna can't tell you every detail, but the hormone therapy and the radiation, it just makes you very sad and depressed. And I was, talking to my pastor, praying, that obviously I want to get through this. And also, nobody ever talks about the financial things that go along with cancer. It can be very expensive. So there's a couple times my daughter was there for spring break, and so she took me to the radiation therapy. Sometimes my wife took me. There's sometimes I had to go by myself. But during this whole time, I'm pretty much depressed, and I just can't figure. I just cancer doesn't run in my family, so I'd say probably around halfway. I Nobody could go with me that day, so I had to go, and I was just having a bad day, man. I just felt bad, sad, angry. You got to park in front of the hospital where the radiation people are, and then I go in there, wait for my turn, and get called back, and I lay on the table, and of course, it's the prostate cancer, so it's down there. So they put like a towel over me down there. And then, once they finish like the mapping, they pull you into this machine and the machine goes around you and it finds out where, where the mapping, where the cancer's at, where they're going to radiate. And so this particular day, man, I was just upset and I'm just laying there. And while the people were in the safety room so they don't get radiation, we start the process. And I don't know what it is. I just started crying and I was just very upset, sad. Like I said, everything you hear about cancer when a doctor told me that, when they say you see your life flash before your eyes, it's true. I saw everything. I saw my sisters, I saw my kids, I saw my grandson just looking at me in the casket, and it just, it scares you. So I'm laying there and I'm just like, I just couldn't take it. And then, I guess describe it, all of a sudden, I just feel this warm embrace over my body. And it felt like I was just being hugged. It, it felt like it was just God just holding me and telling me that everything's going to be okay. Everything in my head just kind of went away. It was peaceful. I felt loved. I felt like, just, I can't even describe the feeling, but I mean, I know now that that was the Holy Spirit telling me, Rudy, you're going to be okay. And so I'm crying, having this experience, and the techs can see it, and they go over the intercom, Mr. Bautista, are you okay? Do you want to keep going? And I said, yeah, yes, I'm trying not to move. Yes, I want to keep going. It's halfway done. Let's go. So, when it's over, I'm still crying, and, I get up, I get my robe and everything back on, and then the tech comes out, and he's just like, that's not the first thing. That's not the first time I've seen somebody. It's not the first time I've seen, him talk to people when they're on that table. And he just said, you're going to be okay. And, he just said, good luck. And, I drove home and I was such in a better mood. I wasn't really depressed anymore. I was just, it was like, wow, I've been crying out, hoping for a sign, something. And that day, on the table, out of all places, it told me that everything's going to be okay. So fast forward, as of 5 months, like I'm in a remission. My testosterone is going back up naturally. It's not there. It's not where it used to be. I know they say it usually takes about a full year to fully recover, but the cancer is gone. So now I'm waiting for my body to heal. At least I'm not having any more hot flashes. But like I'm starting to feel better now. So what's the point of this? The point is I never told anybody my testimony. God is real. He does hear our prayers. So if you're going through something like this, you just hang in there. Okay, in God's time, He's going to answer you. And two, if you're over 45, go get your prostate checked because it's going up. It used to be 50, now 45, especially for brown men, it's going up. So get your prostate checked. And if you're going through something like this, you can message me. I can walk you through what I went through and the things. And so that's all I want to say. That's my testimony. Like I said, I'm putting it out there. Uh, Happy 2026.